Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people.
One love, welcome back to the Black Alpha Network, the most thorough, fastest growing, on point, black first, black only, just black pod on the motherfucking planet. If you with me, smash that like button, hit them subscriptions, and don't forget them notifications, cause we on one. Yes indeed. But yo, this is about to be the most fire episode of the Black AlphaCast ever. So please pull up, grab a drink, grab a snack, grab a smoke, light that motherfucker up, cause we about to go through everything. We gonna shut shit down, and most importantly above all, we gonna regulate on certified. However you found this video, I appreciate it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you smash that like button, and make sure you lock in, cause we about to get it, y'all. And one love to all my people. You can't see me, but I salute you. And throw up that black power fist if you're really down. This the home of black excellence, where we all on the same page, the same wave, riding together, working together, building together, and doing our motherfucking thing all way. Not they way, all way. And that's the only way. Trust me. So if you from any of the 50 states, anywhere throughout the country, over either one of the oceans, every piece of motherfucking concrete, city, block, ward, state, boulevard, avenue, I don't care where you from. If you B1, I see you, because this is straight B1 family affair. No outsiders, only riders, and this a coon free zone. You dig? So all my race regulators, let's mount the fuck up, because we got work to do, and we gonna break this shit down exclusively certified black style. But today, we're gonna talk about the S.O.S, System of Supremacy. Check the headline. We're gonna talk about the System of Supremacy and how it operates, how it functions, and how this shit keeps maintaining itself over and over and over again. And all the motherfuckers who was blind to it, or shall I say, the motherfuckers who see it and don't want to admit it, because I say about 20% of people just don't know, and a lot of times them is young folks, and it's on us to educate them and put them on game. But I would say the other 80% of motherfuckers see this shit loud and clear, straight to their face, and they just don't give a fuck. They're okay with it. They're okay with it, because remember, you cannot have the System of Supremacy without black participants. If there were no black participants, there would be no System of Supremacy. These are the motherfuckers who get the wheels rolling. It's like when you go down to these foreign countries and they pay motherfuckers pennies to do all the work. This is what it is in the System of Supremacy. It's a motherfucker who gets paid to be an employee of supremacy. Because you have employees of supremacy who belong to the dominant society and they get privilege from it. And then you got employees of supremacy that do not get paid, and they belong to all the other groups. You understand where I'm coming from? So you got the paid employee and you got the non-paid employee. You got the person who benefits and gets privilege from supremacy. Then you got the other person who is harmed by supremacy. But the crazy clusterfuck, sad, pathetic part about all that shit is the motherfucker who don't get paid is the motherfucker who participates in it the most. Ain't that a damn shame? But it's even more of a motherfucking shame that they about to get their asses regulated on, because that's what the fuck we do. We don't play them games. We don't just call motherfuckers out for no reason. We call them out, we get with them, we put them in line, and we keep this thing B1 all the way live. Now, the System of Supremacy has been going on for hundreds of years, but let's talk about what's been going on recently. We done seen it all. We done seen it all just in the last 5 years, 4 years, 3, 2, 1, the last month, week, day. You done seen this shit. Anywhere you go, walk out your motherfucking house, turn on your motherfucking television, get on the internet, talk to some motherfuckers you know. It's everywhere. It operates truly in every aspect of society. I seen somebody not too long ago, they were like, man, supremacy's even there? I said, motherfucking right is there. Let me tell you something. Anything that's been going on for hundreds of years operates everywhere. Supremacy has no jurisdiction. Any place where them motherfuckers is at, this is where supremacy occurs. Only place where supremacy does not go on is in a B1 FBA certified black space. Period. Period, point motherfucking blank. We're the only ones who do not allow this shit to operate amongst us. Shit, that's what's happening right motherfucking here. This the B1 motherfucking zone, and ain't nobody from the dominant society can penetrate our space. This space that we on right now, for me speaking, for everyone listening, for everyone speaking, and for me listening, wherever the fuck we are connected, and them B1s is in the sky, can't no motherfucker get through that. Ain't no motherfucking way. No citizen of supremacy, no supremacist suspect, no paid employee, no non-paid employee, no minions of supremacy. Not near motherfucking one of them can cross that line and step into a B1 space, because we got it like that. Yes, indeed. That's why they hate, and that's why we great, and we gonna keep on being great for these motherfuckers. So let's bust it down. Don't forget about those people on that island. If y'all know the names, man, put it in the comment section. I forget. Now, them motherfuckers got a B1 space, because they play the game, and anytime they see the dominant society, they get with them. So salute to them motherfuckers. Click, or however the fuck they talk. I salute you, man. Keep that shit B1 on your little island, and I'm gonna keep this motherfucker B1 in the FBA. Feel me? This how it goes. The whole system operates like this, and we've seen it all. Look at that Kyle Rittenhouse case. Y'all seen how that played out. That was the whole function of supremacy. See, we can't just look at the individuals, because the individuals are only representing a system. You understand? The individual does not mandate the system mandates the individual. And we all know they know this shit at a very young age. It's implanted, it's taught, learned, and practiced. This shit is all taught at the dinner table. It's taught on the television, it's taught in schools. All across the place, all across the space, wherever the fuck they are, this shit is being taught directly or indirectly, consciously or subconsciously. That's how it's gotta be. It's gotta cover all spaces. It's gotta cover the back door and the front door. They want everybody to get the supremacist message. Everybody. And a lot of victims have the supremacist message. That's why I say you have the paid employee and the non-paid employee. Because a lot of black folks, they work for supremacy and they'll do the shit for free. They got a lot of thoughts and beliefs that are anti-self. They have thoughts and beliefs and policies that they support that are against their own mothers, against their own fathers, against their own fucking children. Because that's how much they value supremacy. So these motherfuckers is out here working for free. They had a motherfucking sweatshop making Nikes for 2 cents. This is what these motherfuckers is. They not getting paid from it. At least the other group, the dominant society, they get paid with privilege and benefits. They can beat a motherfucking court case. They can get some extra goddamn money. They can get some motherfucking bills paid, all off the strength of supremacy. What the fuck is a black person getting off supremacy? You ain't getting shit but harmed. You ain't getting shit but brutalized. And unfortunately, a lot of black folks are okay with that harm, and they're okay with that brutalizing as long as they can be an employee. So they do it for free. And this is how deep the system runs. If you show me a system that can get its victims to support it, that can get its victims to justify it, that can get its victims to make excuses for it, oh shit, then you got you a big functioning system on your motherfucking hands. You got a real serious motherfucking problem, and that's what the fuck we all been living in. Think about it. Show me the people who have participated in supremacy, and I'll show you how good their lives went. You show me people who have fought supremacy, and I'll show you how much hell they caught for doing it. Think about it. Anybody who's ever fought supremacy on a major level has been attacked. And you show me people who have dished out supremacy on a major level, and they have been praised. And motherfuckers walk all around that shit, don't they? They dance around that, and that ain't even something that's hard to see. That ain't hard to see. Look at Martin Luther King, bumped off. Malcolm X, bumped off. Huey Newton, bumped off. And we go down the motherfucking list. Nat Turner, bumped off. Black folks, anybody who's ever fought supremacy gets attacked for it, and you show me a motherfucker who participates in supremacy and they get praised, directly or indirectly. Cause that's just how the system works. Shit, look at your money. Every face on the dollar got a slave owner who participated in the system of supremacy. They get praised, money, history days, president days, all that shit. But right now, even in the 2000s, a lot of people are only just now learning about all the slave rebellions, all the slave revolts, all the black people who stood up against this shit. You know why? Because they took all that and they swept it underneath the rug. They put it in a cabinet, tossed it in the closet, tossed it in the attic, stacked 15 motherfucking boxes on top of it. They never wanted that information to get out there. Never. Because anybody who stands up against this shit with knowledge, self-respect, and pride, that person is an enemy of the system. Because the system has to continue and has to maintain itself. I mean, look at the Kyle Rittenhouse case. W's who claim that they're helping us, they got attacked for it. What they say? They say this system is so motherfucking strong that if you are a W trying to assist a black person, you will be harmed for doing it. It's been going on for years. Go back and look at all the motherfuckers that try to march for Martin, whether they're doing it real or not, because a lot of that shit was bullshit. But either way, it was perceived, and remember, supremacy operates off of optics. So whether these motherfuckers was down or not, because I think a lot of these people who were at these rallies and shit that were claiming to be our allies, I think a lot of them were just Democratic voters. But look at that. They showed up to pretend to have black folks back, and they asses got harmed. just for pretending. Think about that. Supremacy is so much of a functioning system that it harms other people in the dominant society who pretend to help out black folks. So when you coming after motherfuckers who are genuine, and then you coming after motherfuckers who are pretending, that lets you know this system is no mercy and they don't give a fucks. And that's how it goes, and that's what you learned with the Kyle Rittenhouse case. You seen it. A lot of black folks say, man, that shit ain't got nothing to do with us. Sit out. Let's sit on the sideline and watch. And hey, that's cool. Y'all know me, Black Alpha 6. I'm down with everybody. I don't give a fuck what it is. If your opinion is B1, if it's FBA, I'm rocking with you. I keep my eyes open wide. I'm focused. So some black folks are saying we should care about it. Some black folks said we shouldn't. It's either way. Everybody's entitled to their own B1 opinion. You understand? So I was like, hey, either way, I'm just watching this shit, popping motherfucking popcorn, seeing how it played out. But you do see how it played out though, right? Do you see that Kyle Rittenhouse was let go for harming other W's? Because those W's were pretending to be down with us, and in the system of supremacy, you can't even pretend to help black people. And everybody learned that shit the hard motherfucking way. Well, at least they did. You know what I'm saying? Go back and look. Back in the day with Martin Luther King, all those folks that was out there marching with Martin, they'll try to tell you those people were good allies. No, they weren't. They were fakers. But guess what? They asses got harmed for faking. Just like today, when everybody had those uprisings and they was out there, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Jacob Blake, Kenosha, or whatever the fuck that city, town, county is, whatever the fuck it's called. Either way, they were out there trying to lock arms with black folks. They was out there trying to sing black folks' praise. They was wearing all them Black Lives Matter shirts, and all of the suspect supremacists like Kyle Rittenhouse, they don't go for that because they're here to maintain supremacy. And the number one thing of supremacy is you don't help black people at all. Faking, serious faking, half playing, fucking around, playing games, it don't matter. You ain't supposed to ever stand next to no black person. And then you see how that shit played out. And the whole court system played out even more so to that favor. The judge was letting it be known. These W's were off code for going out there and supporting Black Lives Matter. These W's were off code for trying to get some justice on the suspected supremacists. That ain't how it worked. So a dominant society member can be a threat to the dominant society if that dominant society member is standing next to black folks. Now, unfortunately, they was out there trying to be a fake ally, and they was trying to lock arms with us, and they was trying to do all that bullshit. They was trying to take the narrative away from black people being brutalized. They were trying to take the narrative away from Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and everyone else. And they were trying to shift that shit on to Joe Biden. And they paid the hard consequences for that. Because these motherfuckers ain't playing in the system of supremacy. There's only one way. One motherfucking way. And a person in the dominant society, you gonna get it too. Same thing happened back in the day with Martin Luther King and the Civil Rights era. All those people that used to be marching with Martin Luther King, they were like, look at all the different people who are out here standing for justice. They don't tell you that a lot of those different people out there standing for justice all got reprimanded. And every motherfucking which way too. You understand? Because that's how it works in the system of supremacy. And this is how the Kyle Rittenhouse case played out. We all seen it, and his ass is gonna go home. He already made money. So I can't say he's gonna make money. He already made money. He gonna live his best motherfucking life, and there will be no justice because that shit's all done. And that's all this Kyle Rittenhouse case was. That's it. Nothing else. No more. Everybody can go home. Anybody expecting to get any type of justice or anybody trying to get any type of truth or anything like that ain't happening. This was just a yearly inspection of W supremacy. That's it. It was a maintenance check. That's all. They had to make sure that all those riots and all those damn protests and all those niggers haven't changed anything. That's all that shit was, man. That shit was just one big ass tune-up. That's it. That's all. Same thing with the Ahmaud Arbery case. That is another big tune-up. All they got to do is make sure that they can send out signals to all the other supremacists of the world that you can get away with whatever the fuck you want. And there are two different sets of rules. Ones that everybody else plays by and ones that they play by. They got to let them know that you can get away with anything, go in front of a motherfucking judge, and the judge thinks just like you. He operates under the system of supremacy. You operate under the system of supremacy, and both y'all are partners. That had to be known. That had to be known. And then they had to send the signal to everybody else. See, now I'm hearing a lot of black folks out there saying, well, fuck it, we gonna do that then too, shit. We gonna walk around here and we gonna do what Kyle Rittenhouse did, shit. Go ahead and try. Go ahead and try real motherfucking quick. And you gonna find out that there's two different types of laws. And you already know, check out my other episode, the in-laws. Yeah, check that out. And I don't mean your relatives neither. Yeah, black folks out here thinking they're gonna go do the same shit that these other groups are out here doing, showing up to these protests and agitating it. It ain't motherfucking happening. I mean, you can do it all you want to, but you better do that shit the correct way. I'm gonna tell you that right motherfucking now. You gotta handle your self-defense in a whole different manner. Defend your motherfucking self, but make sure you do that shit intelligently. Cause if you think you gonna do the same shit they did, or you gonna mimic the same things that they do, motherfucker, you got a rude awakening. It don't work that way. There are two different sets of laws. Just like stand your ground. Motherfuckers was out here saying, well shit, I'm gonna do stand my ground then. Shit, they can't do this. The first motherfucking mistake you made is trying to tell the W what he can and cannot do in the system of supremacy. In the system of supremacy, they can do whatever the fuck they wanna do. I seen black folks out here talking about they was gonna do stand your ground and they was gonna enact that shit. And as soon as their ass got into a jam, they try to enact that shit. The judge said, nope. The same way your ass can take a piece of bread and think you gonna get the same sentence. Nope. The same way when your ass gets pulled over for a broken tail light and you think you gonna get the same treatment and they say, nope. Everything is gonna be to the maximum when it comes to us. The whole motherfucking system is rigged against us. So don't think you're gonna do what he did. Don't think you're gonna do what she did. Don't think you're gonna do what they do, because it's not gonna have the same results. And you can look at the statistics to prove it, and just straight up common sense shows it. The arrests are handled differently, the sentencing is handled differently, and just the overall treatment is handled differently. And every man, woman, and child knows that. And you've seen that with the Kyle Rittenhouse case. You ain't doing what he did. And you're seeing that right now with the Ahmaud Arbery situation. The defense attorney is in the courtroom talking about Ahmaud Arbery's long, dirty toenails. And this shit is allowed. This is allowed. Now remember the judge in the Kyle Rittenhouse case, he was like, don't say that. You can't say this. You can't say that. Nope, that word's off limits. That word's off limits. But this defense attorney who's defending people who did a crime on camera, remember that. To a guy who was minding his own business, remember that. To a trial that shouldn't even be taking motherfucking place, remember that. The defense attorney is in there talking about this man's long, dirty toenails, which is an old anti-black racist statement. They might as well talk about watermelon and big lips. They might as well talk about our hair and try to wash off our blackness. This shit is old school. I mean, they went way the fuck back to old school anti-black racism. And the judge didn't say a motherfucking thing. Matter of fact, the judge sat there and listened. He said, I'll allow it. Straight up, like Mills Lane, the motherfucking boxing referee. He allowed this shit and sat there and listened. This shit is all admissible in the court. Now, do you think a black person could ever go in there and say some shit like that? You imagine Johnny Cochran saying some shit like that about the other group? Fuck no, they wouldn't allow it. But they did in this case. Matter of fact, listen for yourself. Tell me this ain't old school racism.
Turning Ahmaud Arbery into a victim after the choices that he made does not reflect the reality of what brought Ahmaud Arbery to Satilla Shores. In his khaki shorts, with no socks to cover his long, dirty toenails.
No bullshit. That hoe sat there and said to cover his long, dirty toenails. They might as well said this damn African swinging from fucking trees in Africa. They might as well said get him out the swimming pool because they polluted the water. This shit goes on right now. So anytime someone sits there and says, I can't believe things are still going on in the 2000s. Motherfucker, it's bigger now. Straight up and down. And I don't want to hear any motherfucking excuses. This is the system of supremacy where everybody in the courtroom can say shit like that and it's absolutely okay. And we ain't got to sit here and say, well, what if? Because I'm tired of playing the what if game. Black folks say, what if we went in that building on January 6th? You know the fucking answer. What if a black man did what Kyle Rittenhouse did? You know the fucking answer. What if a black man did what Donald Trump did? You know the fucking answer. It comes to a point where maybe we should start doing something about it instead of complaining about it. Instead of talking about what if, because we're going to what if ourselves for 100 motherfucking years. What if, what if, what if? There's no what ifs. And anytime you start putting question marks by things that don't deserve them, you've already took an L and you got to hold that motherfucking L. I don't put question marks at the end of these statements because I know an exclamation point deserves to be at the end of that bitch. And that's what the fuck we gonna put. Ain't no questions, ain't no motherfucking what ifs. The only fucking what if is what you gonna do about it. It ain't about what they gonna do because the questions is over. The guessing is over. The hoping, the wishing is over. The praying is over. You know what the fuck you dealing with. Now go deal with it. You feel me? Because remember, a question mark is their best friend because they'll have you questioning things that aren't questionable and they'll have you debating things that aren't debatable. And the things that they have you debating are things that let them off the hook. So be careful who you debate with. Be careful what you question. And be careful what answers you give them. Because no matter what the fuck you say, they already got their mind made up. That is the SOS. And that's another thing about the system of supremacy. They'll take things that are undebatable and turn them into debates. They'll take things that do not need to go to trial and make them go to trial. See, if they can argue with you and they can have you going back and forth about some shit that there ain't no back and forth, then that's a victory for them. It don't matter if they give these motherfuckers a slap on the wrist. It don't matter if they give them some time. It don't matter what the fuck happens. This shit shouldn't even be in trial. Y'all know when it come to us, there won't be no evidence, but we'll go to trial anyway. You seen how many times black men and black women who get let off based on DNA. It takes DNA, which is science evidence, to let a black person off. But when it comes to the dominant society, it's just a matter of them saying so. That's what it's like living in the system of supremacy, SOS, every day, around the way. And check this shit out. Inside that motherfucking courtroom during the Ahmaud Arbery case, they've said all types of fugazi shit, all types of ludicrous, off-the-cuff, ridiculous shit. But they can get away with it because this system works for them. Y'all know one thing like I know it. In the system of supremacy, black folks get prosecuted for their own deaths, and the dominant society gets defended for being the criminal. It completely flip-flops. See, the criminal should be the one getting prosecuted, and the victim should be the one getting defended. But no. That ain't how it works in the SOS. In the SOS, black people go to jail for being innocent. Black folks get arrested for being innocent. And black folks go on trial for being innocent. Now, the dominant society, no, they get treated like the victim in all costs. I mean, how many times have you watched a trial where somebody has harmed a black person and the whole narrative of the trial is that that person is the victim? You see it all the time. And how many times have you seen a black person get harmed and they're getting treated like they're the criminal? Trayvon Martin went on trial. He wasn't there to defend himself. Ahmaud Arbery's on trial. He's not there to defend himself. George Floyd went on trial. He wasn't there to defend himself. I could say Breonna Taylor and Mike Brown, but their cases didn't even go to trial because it was like, nope, criminals, no charges. They didn't even get a case because that's how it works in this system. And these people get let go. I mean, check this out. Every single time someone harms a black person, people make millions of dollars. That's the system of supremacy. Who do you think makes these cash payouts? Whenever somebody takes a settlement, who do you think's paying that? That's not coming out of the pocket of the criminal. No, that's getting paid by the state, where people on the stock market place money to where these states, towns, and counties raise taxes. So essentially, black folks, your taxpayer money is going to these cash payouts, these big crump settlements, all based on the strength of a black person getting harmed. So AKA, you're paying the settlement money your damn self. Ain't that something? Black folks pay the settlement money with their tax money for other black folks being harmed by the system of supremacy. None of the shit is for free, and it shows you once again that this is a well-oiled machine that gets, a tune-up from time to time. And every now and then the tune-up might take place on television, it might take place on the high-stakes trial or whatever the fuck, but at the end of the goddamn day, this is how it goes down, this is how it operates, and this is how it functions, and everybody knows it. Only the real ones like us, B1s, we know how this shit breaks down on a categorical level. We can see past all the bullshit, we can see past all the games, we see this shit for what it really, really is, because we realists. Everybody else who got their head in the sand, got the wool over their eyes, that's on them, because we gonna keep on moving, we gonna keep on grinding. That's why we strive, and that's why they fall. You feel me? And black folks, we didn't get harmed in the whole situation. We sat back and we watched that shit all play out. It's a bunch of these liberals who are mad, but that's their problem. A lot of times, they want to come to our rallies and they want to get in on what's ours, and they really came out there to get us to vote for Joe Biden, and they pay the consequences for that. You understand? So that was a W on W issue. That was a dominant society on dominant society issue, because anybody who crosses that line of supremacy gets that work. Guarantee motherfucking safe. Now, even further so to the system of supremacy. I know y'all all seen that meme out there and it talks about the system of supremacy and how it works and how it operates. One thing that we all see, and we're going to break this shit down right here on the Black Alpha Network, BLACK Society. Smash that like button, smash them subscriptions. We working. We're going to talk about how the liberals play this game of they're fake appalled. Y'all ever notice that shit? You ever notice that? Because the system of supremacy, remember, I always say this right here. Everybody has a job to do. It is a job title. It's like when you go to the military. You can be in the infantry, you can be a mechanic, you can be in finance. Everybody has an MOS in the military. Anybody who understands the military, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody has a job to do. You do something, I do something, we do something. It's like a football team. You can be the quarterback, I can be the running back, the receiver, the offensive line, and everybody works together to have a mission. This is how you maintain it. You don't just maintain it by harming people. You also maintain it by confusing people, because they all operate off of confusion. What Neely Fuller said, he said it best. If you don't understand this shit, then everything else will confuse you. So a lot of motherfuckers is confused. But we gonna flatten out that goddamn confusion, because right here we speak straight to the motherfucking point, no filters, black first, BLACK. Now, if you ever notice, anytime something happens where black people are harmed, you have two different supremacists who come out. You have the aggressive one, and then you have the calm one. The aggressor does the action, and then the calm one calms down the victim. And if you can calm down the victim, that means you can keep his ass running in place, not going anywhere. This is what always happens. Basically, the conservative comes out and he harms black folks, and then the liberal comes in and he calms black folks. If you ever go back and look when Martin Luther King was assassinated, the first thing that happened was the president and all these W's took to TV and said, let's calm down in the name of brotherhood. The first thing they do is do what I call the humanity hustle. They always want to throw humanity on the line. If you respond or if you defend yourself, that's not the way to do it in humanity. Now, they don't never say anything about humanity when we're being attacked. They only bring up humanity when we want to defend ourselves. They try to human shame you and say, defending yourself is not the way to go. Now, when it comes to them, they can defend themselves anywhere. You don't believe me? Go look at every damn war we go to. It's always, we'll defend America. But black folks aren't allowed to do that. It's considered a bad thing when we defend ourselves. That is also part of the system of supremacy, is that everyone else has the right to defend themselves, but black folks are not. When Malcolm X says by any means necessary, that's pretty much the same thing that America goes by any means necessary. If you do not believe me, look at the motherfucking track record. Look at how America has aggressed upon small little fucking islands. All right, but a black person cannot defend themselves in no situation. Even when we're being targeted, we cannot defend ourselves. That is another part of the system of supremacy. Black folks are not allowed to defend thyself. Everyone else can. But back to it. Who promotes black folks not defending themselves the most? Liberals, who play the role of the calm Negro. That's what the liberals do. They always do that. And they always play fake appalled. They always play like, oh, we care about what black folks are saying. Oh, it's wrong what happened to black folks. I don't agree with what happened to black people. Well, what you gonna do about it? Nothing. See, they motherfucking words and they motherfucking actions don't add up. My people always say when the motherfucking words and their actions do not connect, then that motherfucker's lying. Somebody got a motherfucking agenda. And that's exactly what goes down. Anytime black folks are harmed, liberals come out on television and tell you how bad they feel and how they gonna stand next to us and they're gonna ride with us. But when you look at the track record, they haven't done a motherfucking thing for black people. They'll say that shit all motherfucking day long. They'll say that shit till they out of breath. They'll say that shit till the motherfucking cows come home. But they don't lift a motherfucking finger. It's all lip service. Words. What they say, they'll do something powerless with you. They'll never do something powerful. Now, they can't ever seem to stop their own community because they don't ever want to. Look at this shit. Simple as this. Let me break this shit down. The reason why they can't ever stop their own community is because they don't really want to. The reason why they can't ever stop race soldiers is because they don't really want to. The reason why they can't ever help black people get justice is because they really don't want to. Now, y'all know, with all the millions of people who claim to be down with black people, they should be able to get black folks justice. But when millions of people who say they down can't ever get one black person justice, that means those millions of people who say they down are really lying, are really full of shit, and they ain't really about justice. They just giving you the workaround. They're playing the calmer. Come on down here, it's okay. We'll get justice one day, Marquise. It'll happen. We'll get justice for Breonna Taylor, Trayvon Martin. We'll get it for Megas Elvers. We'll get it for everybody. You gotta remember, there were people back in the day talking about they was gonna get justice for Megas Elvers. They was gonna get justice for Martin Luther King. There is a whole list of black folks who have never received justice, but I'll tell you one thing in common. Every last one of their cases, you had liberals talking about they was gonna do something. They ain't do shit. Why? It's because in the system of supremacy, somebody has to play the good guy. Someone has to play the bad guy. And when somebody can have you thinking one is good and one is bad, but good and bad are really working together, then they got you right where they want you. Right where they want you. I mean, look at the situation that happened on January 6th when all those folks ran into Capitol Hill. Liberals got on TV and acted so fake appalled. Oh my God, this is so bad. What a terrible day in America. Now, let me say this to y'all. Do they even talk about that shit anymore? Has that shit became a big ass secret? You don't hear nothing about that shit no more. Did they not erase that from history? They erased that shit from history in less than a year. People ran into the Capitol building in America. That should be one of the biggest stories of the last 100 years. But they don't talk about it. Now, let me ask you this question. Do you think it's just the Republicans who have been keeping this shit hush? Do you think it's just the conservatives who have been keeping it hush? Fuck no. The liberals have been keeping this shit hush just as much as anybody. Why? It's because in the system of supremacy, the dominant society is not to be highlighted for their wrongdoings. That's why. Because when shit get real, that liberal, that conservative, that Republican, and that Democrat all get on the same page. They'll have their little bickers back and forth, but that's only bickering about who's gonna have power. But when it come down to some shit that threatens their power, that liberal and that conservative show what they've always showed you, is that they're one big supremacist family. And they really get along way more than you think they do. And they only make you think they don't get along is so they can con you. That's the only reason. Now go back and look. They didn't talk about this shit. Liberals, all them liberal channels, they ain't say shit. They covered Dave Chappelle more than they covered the January 6th riots. They covered the baby more than they covered the January 6th riots. They covered Bill Cosby more than they covered the January 6th riots. That's two comedians and a rapper that got way more press than the January 6th riots. And I'm not talking about from Fox News. I ain't talking about from the Republicans. I ain't talking about from the conservatives. I'm talking about from the liberals. You know, all the goods allies. Yeah, them. They didn't cover that shit, and they haven't. They swept that shit under the rug, and that's one of the biggest things everybody should focus on. But you know, we focus on it right here at the real new black media. We focus on the shit they don't want to focus on. We talk about the shit they don't want to talk about, and we speak about the shit that hurt their motherfucking feelings. The biggest story out there in the world should be how the liberals assisted in covering that up. And then you got to ask this question: why did the liberals help cover it up? I thought the liberals and conservatives didn't get along. I thought that they were enemies. I thought they hated each other. How come they got on that same code when it came to covering up those riots? Oh, it's because those riots were predominantly the dominant society, and the dominant society will be protected at all costs by the dominant society. Once again, liberals, conservatives, race brothers. It happened, we seen it, we saw it. So that same game that they did, how they covered up the January 6th riots, is the same thing that they do when it comes to black people. They come over here and they pretend to be appalled. They pretend to want to do something about it, but they really don't. All they did was blame Donald Trump and moved on. It's the same way they come to us and they blame Donald Trump and moved on. You see how they blame Donald Trump for the supremacist riots? Same way they blame Donald Trump for Breonna Taylor. You see what I'm talking about? This is the same game that goes on now. And black folks, like I said, who are unpaid employees of the System of Supremacy, S.O.S, they fall for this shit. There was a protest in Chicago about the Kyle Rittenhouse case. And they were walking around with signs, I shit you not. They had signs that said, "Stop Trump era." What the fuck? Yes, they're protesting Donald Trump about the Kyle Rittenhouse case, and Donald Trump is not even president. This is how motherfucking lost they are. They would rather deny the fact that Joe Biden supported Kyle Rittenhouse, skip over him, and let's talk about Trump. Trump did it. It was Trump's fault. Think about this shit. Joe Biden comes out and says, "Oh, I support it. The jury works. Oh, good job. Salute. I salute the jury and the judge." Joe Biden came out and gave his whole support behind Kyle Rittenhouse. What did the black Democrats do? They said, we didn't hear that from Joe Biden. Let's talk about Donald Trump. See how they was in denial about Joe Biden, and they want to focus on Donald Trump real quick. This is how much these motherfuckers is low budget. They'd rather focus on the ex-president than the president now. And we could just get to the motherfucking core. What the fuck are you protesting the last president for? Oh, I get it. Is that you belong to the new president's plantation. So you'd rather do the same thing that the fake ally liberals do. You'd rather point in one direction, go in the other direction. You'd rather have your words and your actions not connect. Same fucking game. That's why I say you have paid employees of supremacy, those who benefit from it, and then you have non-paid employees of supremacy, those who do not benefit from it. The motherfucker who got privilege and the motherfucker who gets punished both operate the same way in the S.O.S, System of Supremacy. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, smash that like button. This is the Black Alpha motherfucking network. We working. One love to all my B1s. Hold on. Matter of fact, let's freeze this for a minute. Salute to the whole family. Salute to everybody who sees through this shit. These motherfuckers is operating in the system of supremacy. We operate past that motherfucker. You know what I mean? We're the only ones on the whole goddamn planet who got it like this. So do what you got to do. Hold it down how you got to hold it down. But whatever you do, man, make sure you keep that shit B1 and know that shit. Rep that shit so we can proceed. Facts. Now, all my race regulators know one thing for sure, is that anytime we encounter this, we put the motherfuckers in check. You know, we run them off the block, we throw their ass out the club like we always say right here. You feel me? But at the end of the motherfucking day, this is what happens when you're dealing with a system. It has a whole functioning base to where the shit's got to keep you going in circles over and over and over again. Because like I said, they operate off the if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't break it. That's how supremacy works. They don't mind coming up with a lie in fucking 1930 and still running that lie over. Remember, they play all sides of the argument. Kyle Rittenhouse right now is coming out saying he supports Black Lives Matter. You see, he'll play both sides. And there's going to be people out there who really support that shit. But like, man, that's true. He did. It doesn't matter. Facts don't mean nothing. The same way Joe Biden can say he supports Kyle Rittenhouse and black Democrats are silent and don't say shit is the same way that a supremacist can come out and say he supports Black Lives Matter. And they're going to be silent and not say shit. Because in the system of supremacy, there are no facts. None. It operates basically however they want it to. They can change the goalposts, change the rules in the middle of the game. It doesn't matter. There are no facts. There is no order. If there were facts, there'd be order. But the fact that we live in something that is unjust lets you know that there's no rules. It doesn't matter. They can say, hey, do this and we won't be racist anymore. Then you do it and they say, nah, we lied. They've been doing that since day one. Day one. They tell black folks, hey, put that suit on. We'll be good to you. Put the suit on, they bad to you. They tell black folks, talk like this. We'll be good to you. Talk like that, they still bad to you. Walk like this. Speak like this. Think like this. It don't motherfucking matter. This is why people who are sellouts, they get harmed in the system of supremacy. Tiger Woods, O.J. Simpson, all of them, it always ends bad with them. So you got people who are true to themselves and supremacy comes after them. And then you got people who are not true to themselves and supremacy still comes after them. Remember how I told you, supremacy comes after their own. They also go after their own sellouts. So people from the dominant society can get it. People who are not from the dominant society, who subscribe to supremacy, they still get it. That's why every single coon you know got a story where that shit ends tragically. Ends bad. Ends bad all the time. All the time. OJ, like I said. Tiger Woods, like I said. That's why we have something that we refer to as the wake-up call. It's because these motherfuckers still get that work. Still get it. All those motherfuckers who participate in supremacy willingly and are cool with it and they support it, they asses still get touched. So it makes no sense to do any of what they do. You dig? But supremacy is maintaining itself over and over and over. And every generation cleanses itself. It purges itself. It makes sure that it can continue to the next day because that's the number one thing. As we sit here and we talk about passing down wealth, passing down empowerment, passing down certified energy, only thing they really want to pass down is supremacy. Because they know they could fail in life, they could have nothing for themselves, they could be losers, they could never achieve a goddamn thing. As long as they can pass down supremacy, then their kids have a bright future. All right? Supremacy, quite frankly, is the best thing that's ever happened to a lot of low budget motherfuckers. You ain't got nothing, ain't never did nothing, never will be nothing, but you got supremacy to fall back on. See, we gotta work for what the fuck we get. We got a term called get it out the mud, which means grinding, work hard, get that shit on your own back. They don't have that. They could just fail, steal from us, steal from them, take our inventions, take everything we ever created. You know, y'all know how it go down. Y'all know y'all motherfucking B1 history. They could take what we create and then they could pass that shit down to the next generation. Therefore, their kids will live off the benefit of supremacy. That's why it's so adamant to them to check anybody who gets out of line. It is so adamant to be the aggressor. The reason why they take this shit so serious is because this depends on their kids' future. They got to. All right, if they don't maintain supremacy today, then who knows what tomorrow brings. If they don't know what tomorrow brings, then they don't know what their kids are going to have to deal with. You understand? They got to make sure Trayvon don't get no justice. They got to make sure Mike Brown don't get no justice. They got to make sure Sandra Bland don't get no justice. They got to make sure me and you can't get those jobs. They got to make sure me and you don't get that money. They got to make sure our communities don't stick together. They got to make sure black love does not exist because black love builds a whole community of us who are going to challenge them. It is very serious that they got to stop us by any cost because supremacy depends on it. Same way that their ancestors depended on supremacy. They didn't mind enslaving folks. They didn't mind wrapping your ass up. They didn't mind whipping people and doing all types of the heinous shit they did. If that meant that their kid could benefit off this shit tomorrow. That's the S.O.S, System of Supremacy. And the System of Supremacy is older than any motherfucker living on the planet. You know when they try to make it look like the shit's always gonna go away tomorrow? And that's another aspect of the System of Supremacy, false narratives, right? Everybody knows the false narratives. Remember back in the day, oh, it's when the older generation goes away, it'll be better. Bullshit. Remember when it's my grandma's that way because back in her time, bullshit. Your grandma's time is the same as your grandson's time. Racist. That's all bullshit. More false narratives of the S.O.S, System of Supremacy. Another one is supremacy does not have an expiration date. It ain't gonna pack its bags and go away tomorrow at 11:52. Ain't fucking happening. Cancel it. And also, there's a lot of motherfucking things you're gonna retire from in life. You can retire being a clerk, a cashier, a ball player, but you will never retire from being a supremacist. I don't want to hear no, he used to be in the Klan and now he's seen the error of his ways and he's better. No, his ass is a supremacist. Still, once a supremacist, always a supremacist living in the system of supremacy. Anything other than that is a supremacist false narrative. And this always goes on. We've heard them all. Think about it. Racism ended 17 times last year. Every single time something happens, it's always used as some type of catalyst to promote the end of supremacy. Because the more they can have you think of supremacy is gone, the more they can shut your ass up, make your ass sit down and take it. All right. So I don't give a fuck what anybody says. You need to immediately dismiss, deny, and reject these claims. I don't give a fuck. Don't give it no credence. Don't listen to it. Reject that shit. When they're motherfucking speaking and they're trying to say, well, you know, I reject. Well, you know, long time, shut up. Well, my grandpa, fuck you and the grandpa. Be quiet. Next. That's how you got to handle this shit. We don't play no motherfucking games. These are all false narratives, and they're all designed to keep you running in place. It's what I call treadmill racism. Treadmill racism will have your ass stuck in a 500-year rut of nothing. And that's what they've had us doing. Are we watching a new generation go down the same thing? Go down the same game where they're stalling us? This is the question motherfuckers got to ask. Are we watching this generation go down the same game of them just stalling us out, stalling us out, stalling us out? Because that's what they want you to do. They want to stall you out, then you're dead, next generation. Stall you out, then you get old, next generation. And then they'll stall out the next generation. Then they'll stall out the next generation. Because this is the track record. This is what has always been done. They've stalled everybody out. Each generation has a job to stall out their generation of black people. And then when we're gone, then their kids will stall out our kids. And they'll stall you out with everything that I just spoke about. This is why it's on us to reject all that shit. Trust me, if we rejected all of those fake narratives, fake myths, and fake slogans, this shit would start moving forward. The reason why shit don't move forward is because anytime black folks get their mind right and money right, and we ready to make something happen, the motherfucking car stops and we get caught up in pointless debates. And we get caught up in pointless arguments. And we get caught up in pointless games and hustling and how they move the goalposts. This is what always happens. They stop your ass from going forward and stall you out because systematic supremacy has all the time in the world. You don't. You need justice today. You need freedom today. You need wealth today. Your livelihood, your well-being, your children living a good, decent life depends on it. Them, they got all the privilege, so they can kick the fuck back and relax and stall you out. It ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. Go watch TV. Look how all the liberals and the conservatives play games with you. The conservative comes on there and says a bunch of wild ass shit. Well, you know, maybe he should have picked his pants up. You know, trying to stall you out. And then the liberal comes on top of that and says, this is just wrong. We need to stop this. You know, humanity wouldn't do this to y'all. Humanity hustle. Black lives do matter. What you gonna do about it? Nothing. Well, you know, black people are good people. Go vote Biden. You see what I'm saying? They always play these games with you. One motherfucker stalls you out in an aggressive way. The other person stalls you out in a calm way. Either way, your ass is getting stalled out. Because like we said, it all operates in secrecy. Be racist, don't get caught. Play dumb, play stupid, and pretend. That's what it is over and over and over. Play dumb, play stupid, and pretend. These are more stall tactics that they use. Huh? What? All the facts? We don't know. And how do you know they lying? Because when the color isn't black, they become very intelligent. And then when the color becomes black, they play very dumb. You know when a motherfucker frontin', it ain't that motherfucking hard. When it come to us, these motherfuckers is first graders. When it come to everybody else, these motherfuckers is professors. When it come to us, these motherfuckers ain't got no answers. But when it comes to them, they got all the answers. You understand? This is how they motherfucking operate. So you got to see through it for more than what they put in front of you. You feel me? Because they always going to be blind over here and they have x-ray vision over here. So we got to stay on that grind. You got to get past all the games, all the cloaks, all the disguises, and all that fake manipulative shit that they put on the forefront. You dig? You got to get to the meat potatoes, the details, and the subtleties, because that's where the real work lies. But we going to break all that shit down because that's how we roll. And y'all know already that supremacy is a cycle. It's like a motherfucking hamster on the wheel. You ever see the hamster on the wheel? That's how they view black folks. They just want to keep us running in place, not going no motherfucking where. Playing games. And everybody's got a different game and a different tactic. Some motherfuckers aggressive, some is calm, some try to do it with humor, some try to do reverse shit, deflect shit, twist it, respond. Everybody's got a different motherfucking way on how they choose to do it. But if you got your eyes right, and your eyes is trained to see this shit, oh man, you super good. Super good. And that's how we are over here. And the shit is simple mathematics. The longer your ass is stalled, the longer they can be supremacists and benefit. So that's why it is their duty to make sure that they always stall you so they can do this shit longer. I mean, listen for yourself. We can go back in the past and they saying the same thing I'm saying today. So if someone's saying the same thing 60 years ago, that means that the same problem is here. And guess what? It ain't going nowhere. Check it out.
First you tell us that it is manly to keep your word. Right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all of the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well then, show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well then, stick to your word. And let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man. You're a worm. You're afraid of us. You're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground, that we will match you and we will override you. And if that's what you're afraid of us, then tell us that just what you're afraid of. But don't keep hiding it from us and holding this up to us. And every time we ask you for something, you give us a little bit of something. And it's all tokenism. We don't want tokenism. And there are most black men in this world that don't want charity. And yet still every time we ask you for something, you give us a little piece, a little piece. You're playing games with us. We're not children.
See what I'm talking about? Games, games, games. Stall, stall, stall. Playing, playing, playing. These motherfuckers ain't serious, man. These motherfuckers just playing games. They moving the fucking goalpost every time you take a step. And all those laws like the black codes, Jim Crow, segregation, all that is the system of supremacy out loud. That's it. With or without that sign up, the shit still goes on. Either it's going to be seen or unseen, heard or unheard. But either way, the shit is very present.
Why am I mad? You know, white people ask me, why am I so angry? And, you know, I don't have any answer for him because it'd be ridiculous for me to answer him because he couldn't understand anyway, obviously, because he asked me the question.
The 400 years that I've existed there, 3 years, you know, 3 generations within my own family, why don't you know what I'm like? What is it so new in 1968 or, you know, in the 60s that you've got to learn? Because my grandfather was born, you know, he's 90. My mother was ready for integration. You know, she's middle-class Negro. Now, all of a sudden, you come to me and you say, you know, communicate with me. Hell, I've been here all the time. Where were you? You know, what do I have to say to you? The most advanced nation in the world. It has to be resolved. It has to be resolved because I want my children to have an answer. If not me, I personally prefer that I have an answer. You know, I don't have, you know, I like to think I don't have my lifetime to waste on this.
See what we talking about? Same motherfucking games. Them people in the 1960s were encountering the same bullshit, and they were saying that their parents and their grandparents were encountering the same shit. They were saying then, let's have a conversation. Let's talk. And that lady said, what you mean let's talk? Motherfucker, I've been here for 400 years. What you think we've been doing? You see what I said? They'll recycle the same thing over and over. It's called recycled racism. And they run that same game. Now that lady was saying in 1968 that she wanted freedom in her lifetime. Let me tell you, newsflash, she didn't get it. Then she said she wants it for her kids. If she had a child in 1968, that kid would be 53 years old. And turn on your TV. Tell me, did that 53-year-old ever get it? No. So what you think they're going to do with the next generation? They're going to be telling the next generation, 53 years from now, let's have a conversation. It's called stalling you out. The past shows you it, the present shows you it, and they're going to try to run that same shit in the future. That shit's like catching a movie. If your ass got to get to the movie theater by 8 o'clock when the movie starts, but your motherfucking car is stalled, and you can't start that motherfucker till 8:30, by the time you get to the goddamn movie, you done missed half the goddamn scenes. And that's where they want to keep your ass, always behind. Because when somebody is behind, that means they're out of order. That means they're out of sync with the natural flow of the earth. The earth flows with or without somebody's permission. The earth flows with or without your ass. So when somebody can take a group of people and knock them out of sync and keep them behind, you're not operating with the true system of who you're meant to be. And that's why we got black folks out here running around doing all types of clown shit, because they're not used to being in sync. They're not used to being in order. In all honesty, they're knocked off the path of how the world is supposed to operate. In the dominant society, they're always ahead of time. And this is why they love supremacy, because it keeps them on schedule. They want to knock us off schedule. That's why our whole existence is always behind. That's why black folks in the 2000s are fighting for rights of the 1960s. Black folks in the 60s was fighting for the 30s. That's why people still think with old, outdated, past tense things, because our group is behind schedule purposely. We have been systematically placed behind schedule. they have been systematically placed in front. That's why they're always 15, 20 minutes early and we're always 20, 30 years late. That's why black folks are still out here, Jesse Jackson running around, Al Sharpton running around. In all essence, if the natural flow of the earth was going, there'd be no Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton leading shit. All right? There'd be no Black Caucus, no Clyburns, no motherfucker out here talking that same outdated bullshit. It's because our group are out of sync. And the more we get on schedule, B1s, and the more we get in sync, B1s, the more the motherfucking game changes. And if you don't believe me, look at it right now. Now we catching up to these motherfuckers because of us. Now we running right by these motherfuckers because of us. And that's the beauty of being in sync and being on your game. You could take a motherfucker that was 15 rows back and put the motherfuckers 15 rows in front. And eventually we're gonna be looking back at these motherfuckers and they ain't even gonna be in the picture because they know when all is fair, and we're not systematically off schedule, and we're not systematically knocked out of sync, and we're not systematically knocked out of order, when all shit is fair, we always win. And that's why they have that major agenda to keep us behind. They're always feeding us past tense shit. The first black this, the first black that. What did Martin do? It's always past tense shit. It ain't never what we gonna do. It ain't ever anything of how we gonna get it today. They always want to feed us things from the past because they want to keep us in the past. You show me a group that is out of sync with the natural flow of the earth, and I'm gonna show you a group that is dysfunctional. And that's where they try to keep us. But we in this motherfucker and we keeping the lights on. Y'all have all seen the meme before. We're gonna break that shit down. How's it go? It says supremacy creates the problem with intent to destroy black people. It gets out of hand and affects everyone. Kyle Rittenhouse. Supremacy now claims that they will fix the problem while both excluding blacks and blaming them for the problem with mass resources and propaganda. And then one of the biggest factors, black folks exhaust themselves arguing with people from the dominant society who deny it all, or arguing with other black folks who deny it all, because the denier is another employee of supremacy. You got motherfuckers who deny what you seen right in front of your eyes. You know it? And they got the power to do so. They can say, what you seen you didn't see. And they could just say that shit and get along with it because they, in the system of supremacy, have agents in every single aspect. So you're going to go in front of that judge who denies it. You can go in front of that police officer who denies it. You can go in front of the school teacher who denies it. I mean, every day you see teachers telling us that slavery didn't exist or all types of crazy shit. So this is what happens. They put their agents everywhere and everybody denies it. Then you're going to have a brother or sister who's going to say, man, that ain't real. I came from Mississippi and my parents were in the one shack, and they're going to deny the shit. So facts don't matter. So this is what we always say about the system of supremacy. But the main thing is, like we say, they practice and they benefit from it. And then they'll have all their little minions out here poking and prodding, doing all types of little petty shit just to deny you and just to keep you at bay. That's the way the system of supremacy operates. That's the way we know how this shit operates. And that's the same system that we will replace with a system of justice. But here's the difference when I say system of justice. When I say system of justice, I'm talking about a system for us, black folk. Because remember, all these other groups, they sit here and they see the system of supremacy and they want in on it. And what's the number one way to get brownie points in the system of supremacy is to come down on black people. Yes, so everybody comes to this country and they see the system of supremacy and then they team up on black folks and then they try to duplicate and mimic the way the dominant society treats us. So that's why you have all these foreign groups who come after black folks because they want to do the same thing in the system of supremacy that the W does. And that's why we got to put them on the same line. And that's why we say black first. Oh yeah, that's the motherfucking truth. And since we as real as it get right here on the Black Alpha Network, we gonna go all the way the fuck in. All the way. No punches pulled. Straight to the motherfucking core. The pettiness and the deep shit that they do to separate the black man and black woman, that is all a part of the system of supremacy. And I advise everybody out there, if you come across any brother or sister who play any of that gender shit, tell them they ain't black, reject, dismiss, and deny their ass. This thing that we like to go back and forth with people, don't do that. Because the more you go back and forth with a motherfucker, the more credit you give them. The best way to dismiss a motherfucker is not to listen. Reject their ass. Now, black folks will walk around all day long talking about, I blocked your number, I deleted your contact, I don't need you in my life. We'll do that shit all day long. But then we'll come across a sellout and we'll go back and forth with them. I broke this shit down before. You got the certified black, you got the counterfeit Negro. If you come across a counterfeit, if you come across a coon, you come across a bedwench or a sellout, simple as this. You ain't black. Boom. Done deal, case closed, problem solved. I'm getting tired of seeing black folks go back and forth with these gender people. These motherfuckers who beef back and forth. If you have a problem with black women, or you have a problem with black men, and your skin is black, then your ass is no longer black. We done packed your shit and kicked you the fuck out of society. That's as simple as it goes. You can watch every other group. Any other group does not tolerate bullshit from the inside. They will kick your ass out immediately. Or what my man Dollar Bill, rest in peace Bernie Mac, what he say on Players Club? Immediately. You go to any other group and do that I hate my own kind shit, and they gonna run your ass right the fuck out. They gonna let it be known that you ain't a part of them. And that's the thing that black folks gotta start doing. We sit here and we talk to these motherfuckers like they're a part of us. The way I operate, the way we get down on the Black Alpha Network, BAN, is if you have an anti-black thought, then you ain't black. If you got a problem with black women, then you ain't black. If you got a problem with black men, then you ain't black. Because any of that type of shit is poisonous, treasonous, and it will not be motherfucking tolerated. It ain't nothing to pack a motherfucking bag and throw their ass out. We'll Uncle Phil these motherfuckers quick, fast, in a hurry. You did. And I'll do that shit proudly. I love it. I love it. Ain't nothing better than running a motherfucker out the community. Ain't nothing better. We wouldn't be in the situation we are in now had we started running motherfuckers out and Uncle Phil in their ass. We've been letting motherfuckers linger around, stay around. We want to work around the sellouts. We want to maneuver around them. And it never occurred to a person to sit there and say, you know what? If you play that gender shit, then you ain't a black person. I be seeing motherfuckers on Twitter going back and forth with these gender bums. Oh, I seen some people saying the black men was bullet bags. Oh, I see somebody saying the black women is loud. And motherfuckers be going back and forth. Man, we ain't doing none of that shit. We canceling these motherfuckers and we Uncle Philling them, and then we on to the next one. That's it. These motherfuckers ain't even a bleep on our radar. Only time we gonna see them is when we regulating, and then we gonna keep it pushing. Don't give them no energy. So you gotta treat a gender bum the same way you treat a supremacist, because they get their whole ideology from supremacy. Period. So all that I hate my own kind, I hate my own man, I hate my own women. Well, I hope you hate this motherfucking dough, because we putting your ass on the curb like it's trash day. Fuck taking your black card. Motherfucker, I took you and removed you from the premises. No one ever sat down and thought like that, but we do now. We do now. Because we don't play none of that gender shit, because that plays right into the hands of the dominant society, of the system of supremacy. So in simple motherfucking fashion, you catch somebody on that gender shit, dismiss them, reject, and everything will be perfect. Because the only thing that matters are the brothers, sisters, kings, queens, goddess, and gods. If you do not subscribe to any of that and you ain't down with any of that, and you want to be on your little gender bum shit, then your ass can see the dough, point blank. That's how it is, because this is all a part of the system of supremacy, and it is designed to keep them brothers, sisters, kings, queens, goddess, gods separated. And y'all see what they're doing right now with that movie King Richard about Venus and Serena's father. They got to knock him down. Same way they got to knock down all black fathers or black mothers, because the black unit, the black family, is the biggest threat to them. In the S.O.S, a black man cannot be a black man. He has to be a black woman. A black woman cannot be a black woman. She has to be a black man. And when people sit here and they fight all day long and they talk about, well, you did it, no, you did it, no, you did it, all that type of shit, these are all warped people who ain't got nothing for themselves. So the only thing they can do is start pointing the finger at each other. And that's what goes on over and over and over. But know this one thing, word to the wise, this is my shit right here, and I'm gonna keep it real. A lot of people don't know this, but motherfuckers gonna hear it right now, right here on the Black Alpha Network. In the system of supremacy, there's no such thing as a black child. In the system of supremacy, there's no such thing as a black woman. In the system of supremacy, all black people are black men, and all black men are targets. Our kids are seen as adults, our women are seen as men, and all of our men got a target right on their back. So nobody can separate themselves from the crowd. Not a woman, not a man, not a girl, not a boy. Everybody in this system is a target, because they do not put us in categories. Only thing they do is put an agenda on us. Bet that shit. So I don't want to hear nobody arguing about who got it worse. Nah, in this system, everybody got it worse, because the dominant society sees y'all all together. I got one motto. My motto is, a family that hangs together stays together. And motherfucking black folks done hung together all day long, so it's time that we start hanging together every motherfucking day. And this type of hanging, we need to get some fucking money, we need to get our game right, we need to get our minds right, and you know we gotta get them things right, you feel me? So with that said, all them gender bums, consider your ass canceled right now. Straight certified, BAN for sure. And speaking of King Richard, let's talk about another famous father, that is Malcolm X. Just recently, his daughter, Malika Shabazz, passed away. Just recently. When I say the brothers, the sisters, I say the kings, the queens, and I say the goddesses, that woman described all of those in one. So much respect and much blessings to her. But the more I thought about her, I remember the interview I seen with her. And she was speaking about how they try to divide the brothers and the sisters. They try to divide the men and the women. And it's everything that I just talked about right here. So I feel honored that she sees things in the same light in which I seen them. So I'm about to play y'all a clip so y'all can see how she saw through all the bullshit and how she mentions that we strong on our own, but we stronger together. Check it out.
There was a magazine I saw, Jay-Z is the true president. No, he's not. Because he was saying, nigga, bitch, ho, this, that, and the other, until he had a daughter. Then he stopped. But he made millions before that. You can't say, well, now that I have, if you've already contributed and influenced a generation, now this is how you get wealthy, how you get down, by disrespecting yourselves. And when they say males are an endangered species, that divides us. Because girls and boys are both equally endangered species. And now you have them pitting against each other. Each one are equally in danger, and each one can uplift if they stand together and unite and understand and respect each other as young men and women. You know, we're all over the world, and we need to understand that we need to support each other and understand that any drop of melanin you need to try to support. But the real thing is about the men and the women respecting each other. Women are endangered too. They're left pregnant, single parents, and struggling on their own. Drugs are running rampant. Prostitution is running rampant. But education is also very important. And now that we have the internet, since we are the largest consumers on the planet, black folks can spend money quick, but not save. Well, we're learning how to save. And this next generation, educating ourselves. My mother was really very into health and education and the girl child. When people say Malcolm, they have to say Betty.
Yeah, that was a real smart sister, real strong sister. One love and much blessings. But to go back to what we were speaking about, the black family is the strongest thing in the system of supremacy. So if you want to combat the system of supremacy, hold down the black family and get you some motherfucking money and protect yourself. Do all three of those and you're winning. My word. And when I say black family, I'm not just talking about your immediate. I'm talking about your extended family. All the way to y'all. Everybody who throws up the B1, everybody who's a part of Certified Black Society, that is a black family. Start with your immediate, work your way out, then you already know what's up. Do not fall for the games. Do not fall for the games. This is what they did in the civil rights era. This is what they did in the 80s, the 90s, go back, 30s, 20s. It don't matter. They always will try to stall you out, keep you running the motherfucking place because it benefits them. For us, the time is now. We on the motherfucking clock. You feel me? It's the 11th hour. We got to get it. Remember this. This is why I say right now, these times right now, this certified era, as we call it right here. It is so pivotal and important what we do today because we are in the 11th motherfucking hour. Remember this. You can get stalled out a lot. They can keep you in pointless debates. They can play games with you. And they can do this for generation upon generation upon generation. But know this goddamn much. You can only stall out a car so many times before that motherfucker has to get put down. You can only stall out a car so many motherfucking times before it has to go to the junkyard. You can only stall out a car so many motherfucking times before it's over. And we've been stalled out so many motherfucking times. We done used so many motherfucking lifelines. We done wasted so much motherfucking energy. We ain't got too many more generations that can be stalled out before we're done. So every black person out there needs to stand the fuck up, get the fuck up, and go ride, regulate. That's the only way you can handle the system of supremacy. Anything other than that is wasting your motherfucking breath. Make sure that you stay strong with your motherfucking chest out. Make sure your mind stay right. Make sure you stay focused. Anybody who cannot see bullshit is always going to be a victim of supremacy because supremacy is full of bullshit. Anybody who don't play the bullshit, who don't tolerate the bullshit and don't go for the bullshit is always going to be good in the system of supremacy because we regulate that shit. And we, B1s, FBA certifies, we some motherfucking race regulators. Believe that. B1s in the sky, got mine up, throw yours up. Black power to the last hour. Y'all know how it go. We all operate past this motherfucking system. We all operate together as a team. Unite the city, step to the world as a weapon, as usual. And eventually, when we stay on ours, these motherfuckers is gonna respect it because we know they can't check it. Every day. I hope y'all living good, man. Stay safe out there. Stay grinding. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Take care of the team. I'm going to do my part. I know you're going to do your part. And when we do our part, we untouchable. Bet that. Broadcasting live from Foundational Black America. This is Black Alpha 6. Bang them likes, bang them notifications, and I will see y'all all on the other side so we can get right back with them. Black is beautiful, y'all, and beautiful is black.